This video is brought to you by AztecaSoccer.com, your one-stop shop for all the latest and greatest soccer gear. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout to receive 10% off any order of $75 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Magista Obra in the brand new Shine Through colorway. Now inside the box, because this is a top-end model from Nike, a string bag is included. The string bag that you get is white in color with black strings. It features a black Nike swoosh on one side and your black Nike football branding on the other. Other than that though, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So I'll get these guys out of the box really quickly and take a closer look at the Shine Through colorway of the Nike Magista Obra. And this is of course part of that Shine Through pack of colors. We're going to be taking a closer look at the colorway of the shoe, as well as talk about all the tech specs, how these things fit and feel, the weight of the shoes, and just do a general overview on everything you could possibly want to know about the Nike Magista Obra. So if any of that interests you, please stick around, and with that being said, let's get right into the video. To start things off, let's talk about the colorway. Now this is of course part of the Shine Through pack from Nike, which is featured across all four of their main silos, all having a white base, as you guys can see. The white base on the Nike Magista Obra I just think looks really, really good. And similar to the Superfly 4, which is also a Flyknit mid-cut shoe, it features a solid white Nike skin base that covers up the Flyknit, so it's not translucent. You don't get to see the pattern underneath. Obviously all of the texturing and the actual Flyknit itself is still very, very visible, but you don't actually get to see the individual strands. But of course the laces, the top of the foot, as well as the dynamic fit collar that is not covered with Nike skin is left completely exposed, and it's solid black Flyknit, as you can see, with no accent whatsoever. So you have the white upper with the black dynamic fit collar, which I personally really like. I know not everybody does, but leave your opinions on it down below in the comment section. As far as the main accent color is concerned, you can see that you have your Nike swoosh here with a base of poison green and with a total orange graphic. So orange and green, not typically two colors you see combined together on one single shoe, but honestly I think it looks pretty good here. The poison green is kind of a lime green type of color. It's vibrant, but at the same time not too bright, and actually does work well with orange. And of course you have the black outline around both of the Nike swooshes as well. Your ACC branding right there on top of the Nike skin covering. Your Magista branding in white going across the back of the dynamic fit collar. And then of course the Soleplate is two shades of poison green, a lighter and a darker shade, as you guys can see, with your Magista branding and Nike swoosh there in black. So overall, really nice looking shoe. I think the green bottom looks fantastic against the white background, and then you got that black dynamic fit collar. And overall, the Magista Obra to me is just a really cool modern looking shoe as it is. And when you give it this unique color scheme where you have a different color for the sole plate, the upper, and the collar, it just kind of segments everything and really shows off the overall design in my opinion. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. And next we'll move on to an overview of the tech specs and talk more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Magista Obra is a really, really good shoe. We're going to be going over all of the details in today's video, but if you want even more information, I would strongly recommend checking out the detailed full written review on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description. Everything is explained in that written review, or if you'd like more info in video form, I'll leave several annotations on screen, including a playtest video I have of the Magista Obra where you can see these things in action, a traction test video, as well as several comparisons. So again, if you want as much info as possible, link down below in the description, and the annotations will be left on screen. Now, of course, the main appeal of the Magista Obra is the Flyknit upper. It creates a one-piece sock-like enclosure for your foot. That's really the best way to describe it. And in comparison to the Superfly 4, another very popular model from Nike right now, also made from Flyknit and also featuring that mid-cut design, this one is a little bit more structured. So you can see the Flyknit material is very heavily textured on the surface, and that's because it's a lot more dense than what you're going to find on the Superfly 4. Like the Superfly 4, it does incorporate the Brio cables, which are not as easy to see because it's actually in the pattern itself. They're little cables that run from the base of the sole plate directly into the lacing system, so when you do pull the laces tight, you get that nice locked-in sensation while still maintaining the sock-like flexibility and comfort level of the actual Flyknit material. So it really just provides a nice unique sensation. In terms of the thickness of the Flyknit, it's a little bit thicker than what you're going to find on the Superfly 4, of course, but certainly not what I consider to be a padded or cushioned shoe. It definitely is on the thinner side, but just with that little bit of extra kind of plushness on the ball, I guess is the best way to describe it. There is an internal layer of padding on the inside of the shoe as well that I can't really show you guys, but it definitely is noticeable when you have these things on your feet. And of course they have that Nike Skin layer over top just to prevent the ball from sliding around on your foot. So you get a minimal amount of grip is kind of the best way to describe it, plus the added texturing, which also enhances the overall grip you get on the ball. And of course it's finished off with ACC all conditions control, acting as your wet control element, which is great for wet weather playing condition. And just this design in general is a shoe that I like to wear whenever it's wet and muddy, just because the mid-cut design and the dense Flyknit, which is made up of several different layers, doesn't allow water to get in the shoe. So if you were to step into a puddle, for example, in a normal pair of soccer shoes, water will basically just seep in the sides of the ankle as well as where the tongue is located. But because this doesn't have a seam at the ankle or a seam on top of the foot, water doesn't really get in very easily. So again, it keeps your feet nice and dry, and it's really one of the better options for, like I said, frequently playing in wet weather playing conditions. You do have a lacing system that runs down the middle. It's slightly pushed to the medial side of the shoe, which is somewhat unusual, but feels very comfortable and certainly does not get in the way. It just makes for a nice clean touch on the ball across the entire kind of outside as well as the inside of your foot. As you can see, the laces are kind of located right where you would strike the ball, which again, no big deal, does not get in the way at all. And then of course, all the black area of the shoe is not covered in Nike Skin. It's made from a less structured, much more flexible and stretchy Flyknit material, so it's not going to restrict you while you're wearing them. Again, the mid-cut design is being marketed as kind of a little bit of a gimmicky thing where they're saying it's going to provide extra support. That's not really the case here. It's really just a kind of compression sock against your ankle or the lower portion of your leg. There's no structure to it. There's no plastic here. There is no actual support. It's there more or less to create that seamless sensation where the shoe feels like it flows into your foot as opposed to being something that is attached to your foot. So really nice seamless sensation. It's one of the most unique feeling shoes currently out there on the market. And again, if you're kind of sold on the whole mid-cut Flyknit concept, you're probably going to have a very positive experience with the Nike Magista Obra or the Superfly 4 for that matter. On the inside of the shoe, you are going to find a heel liner on the very back, so like a synthetic leather material with a decent amount of padding there. Some people do complain about blistering and stuff like that, and a lot of that has to do with one, not having the right size where they're too big or too small, and two, not breaking them in slowly. With something like this, because they fit different from a normal pair of soccer shoes, it's really important that you break them in slowly, wear them around the house as opposed to going to the field for the first time that they're on your feet and taking free kicks or wearing them straight into the game. That's probably not the best idea. If you break them in slowly, you'll eventually get used to them and you're going to avoid blisters altogether. Once they're broken in properly, these are very, very comfortable shoes. So regardless of what you've heard, regardless of what you think, these are shoes that you can achieve a very comfortable fit with as long as you break them in an appropriate time period as opposed to just wearing them at 100% from right out of the box. As far as the insole is concerned, it is fully removable. You can see it does have a mesh liner on top. It's got perforations throughout, and it's just made from a single layer of this foam material. Nothing too crazy, but it definitely does get the job done and does not slide around on the inside of the shoe. And then moving on to the sole plate, you can see that the sole plate does feature a one-piece heel counter that I personally really like the look of. You get that little bit of extra protection as well as the stability at the rear portion of the shoe, not allowing your heel to slide around at all. And then of course the sole plate, which is stiffer than what you're going to find on even the Superfly 4, even though it isn't made from carbon fiber. It's more of a compressed nylon type of material. And it actually does feel pretty good. It's a little bit stiff at first, but again, once you get used to it, it's not something I have any kind of issue with. And as far as the stud pattern is concerned, it's the Magista stud pattern, which is loosely based off of what you're going to find on the Nike Tiempo stud pattern, where essentially the major significant difference is that you're going to have conical studs in the heel as opposed to bladed studs. So 4 studs there, 8 studs on the sides of the forefoot, 2 bladed studs in the middle, and then 1 little mercurial toe pick stud right there at the edge. So it's going to provide plenty of maneuverability when planted, allowing you to pivot and twist and turn very freely, but still provides really good traction when pushing off, just due to the conical studs themselves being fairly narrow in profile and a little bit longer as well. So as far as use on firm natural grass playing surfaces are concerned, the traction you get with these guys, as well as the stability stability from the Flyknit upper in combination with those Brio cables is actually very, very impressive. So again, if you're sold on the Flyknit system, you're going to have a very positive experience with the Magista Obra. And with that being said, let's move on to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. When it comes to comparing the Magista Obra to other shoes on the market right now, it really does compare best to the Superfly 4 for pretty obvious reasons. In comparison to that shoe, of course, the Superfly is part of the Mercurial line. It features a much more low-profile, slim design, I guess, in comparison, and it also does have that carbon fiber sole plate. So I think a lot of people would automatically assume that it is going to be significantly lighter than the Magista Obra, but that's not actually the case, which you guys are going to see in just a second when I weigh these things in real time. So keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9.5 US. Going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.2 ounces, which is pretty much right on par with what you're going to get from the Superfly 4 in the exact same size. They fit extremely well, they provide that nice seamless sensation, and they're comfortable enough once broken in to the point where you forget that you're wearing them on your feet at all. They're certainly not going to weigh you down, and again, if you're interested in the whole Flyknit concept, this is definitely a shoe that I would strongly recommend. Alright, so here's a look at the Nike Magista Obras on feet, and from out of the box, these things feel really, really good, but if you've never worn a mid-cut Flyknit model from Nike before, the first time that you put them on, they definitely will feel a little bit strange. They don't feel like regular soccer shoes, I definitely will say that. The mid-cut design and the Flyknit upper feel pretty good from out of the box, but it's just a strange sensation in terms of how the shoe wraps your foot, and of course having that extra material around your ankle that you wouldn't normally have with a pair of soccer shoes. So the break-in process is not so much about actually breaking in the materials themselves. They're soft and flexible from right out of the box. It really does have that sock-like feel. It's actually more about getting used to how these things feel and kind of getting past that mental block that you're wearing knitted soccer cleats. Once you get past that period, which should only take 1 to 4 hours, I guess, they become very, very comfortable, and you just don't think about it anymore. They just become a normal pair of soccer shoes. And again, they have that nice seamless one-to-one sock-like sensation, which I personally really like. And as far as the break-in process is concerned, my best advice is just to take things very, very slowly. Avoid going out for the first time and just taking free kicks for 2 hours. Don't wear them straight into the game. Wear them for 20 minutes or so, or at least until they start to feel uncomfortable. Take them off, swap in your old pair, and then of course just repeat that to the point where the shoes feel totally comfortable on your feet. I've never gotten a pair of blisters from Magista Obras or Superfly 4s. You shouldn't have to either. Again, just break them in slowly and you shouldn't have any issues with discomfort whatsoever. As far as the fit of the shoe is concerned, it's one piece, so it does have that nice seamless sensation on your feet. The width of the shoe is what I would say is average. It's not overly wide, but it is going to be suitable for most foot types. You're not really going to get any stretch out of the upper. The way it fits from right out of the box is the way it fits for its entire lifespan, so please keep that in mind. But again, they're going to fit most people, and as long as you don't have excessively wide feet, you should be able to achieve a very comfortable fit in the Nike Magista Obra. As far as sizing is concerned, I've worn this shoe in a size 9 US, which is my normal size, as well as a 9.5 US, which is half a size up. Now the Magista line replaced the CTR 360 lineup. Those shoes all ran a half size small, and honestly I feel like the Magista line runs a half size small for the most part as well. I can wear these in a size 9 US, but the fit is very, very snug. So personally I feel a little bit more comfortable going a half size up. I think most people will as well. So if you are looking to order a pair of Magista Obras, if you're coming from the CTR 360 line, I would stick with the same size. If you're coming from any other silo, I'd probably recommend going a half size up. Or if you just want a really, really tight fit, you can definitely stay true to size with the Magista Obra, and they still are very, very wearable. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Shine Through Nike Magista Obra. Really big fan of the colorway, and the Obra as a whole is just a shoe that I really enjoy wearing. It wouldn't be my first pick out of all the Nike models, but in terms of shoes that I really have a good time wearing, the Obra is definitely one of the shoes that would be at the top of my list. It offers a great sock-like sensation that you really can't get from anything else other than the mid-cut Flyknit models from Nike. I like the slightly thicker feel that it has on the ball in comparison to the Superfly 4, and I also really like the stud pattern that they've used on this particular shoe. So as an entire package, big fan of the Nike Magista Obra. Really fun shoe to wear, and I really don't have many complaints about it at all. Again, if you guys want more info on the overall performance, check out the full written review on my website. It'll be the first link down below in the description of this video. The full written review will be on that page. You'll find the high quality images of this shoe that'll give you a better idea as to how they actually do look in person. And you'll also find buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4 as4u coupon codes, allowing you to pick these up below their $275 retail price. So be sure to go ahead and check that page out. Again, first link down below in the description if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave a comment down below and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.